It's like WrestleMania all over again. Because Mr. Kurt Hennig is in the building. Mr. Perfect, everybody. Kevin Lankinen, 17 for 17. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Or actually, is that BTS? I don't know. But anyways, Vancouver Canucks goaltender Kevin Lankinen remains perfect in the shootout this season, stopping all 17 opportunities against him on the year. He is literally the NHL's all-time leader in shootout save percentage. And it comes here tonight in what was a 3-2 victory for the Vancouver Canucks against the Seattle Kraken. Now, for all the love the Team Tank goes out there and gets, I understand that vibes are questionable at the moment. Folks are going out there and criticizing the team when they lose. Folks are going out there and criticizing the team when they win. But at the very end of the day, I think we can all acknowledge the Vancouver Canucks are not a particularly great hockey team this year. The upper ceiling of what this team is capable of, the limits of how skilled these guys can be, it's not particularly great, especially since they just traded away their former captain. But even though they probably have it in their best interests to get a high draft pick, get a low rank in the NHL standings, and do their best to grab Gavin McKenna, who just scored himself a hat trick earlier today for Team Canada against Denmark, you gotta sprinkle some wins in there too, right? No team in the NHL, no matter how good or how bad you are, no team goes 82-0, no team goes 0-82. Even the worst team in the National Hockey League can still win a few games here and there, and when they're as entertaining as this one, it's hard to complain. Rick Dhaliwal, Jason Bruff, all these folks on the media going out there and complaining whenever the Canucks lose, just getting all ticked off about the way the team is navigating this rebuild, or how they're not even admitting to themselves that a rebuild is the way they should go down. There are some very valid emotions behind those sentiments, but at the end of the day, hockey is an entertainment product, and whilst it is the most entertaining and the most emotionally investing to see the team go out there and win championships, sometimes a fun win is all you need to have yourselves a fun night at the bar or something, watching at home, getting invested in seeing this team rally back, seeing some of the top names on the squad score some goals, stand up for themselves, get into the fight, and to see Mr. Perfect go out there and continue his streak of perfection this season. 3-2 is the final score. Vancouver beats Seattle in their home barn. The Canucks have the Philadelphia Flyers tomorrow, so obviously that's going to be pretty interesting, seeing Vancouver go from Seattle up back over to Rogers Arena in the span of 24 hours on a back-to-back. But focusing on this game right here, the game opens up with a quick power play goal scored by none other than former Vancouver Canuck and Jim Benning mistake, Jared McCann. He ends up scoring quickly on a power play opportunity right after Jordan Eberle wins the face-off. Eberle wins the draw, McCann goes to Dunn, Dunn goes back to McCann, and he fires a one-timer on goal. It beats Kevin Lankinen, and it's 1-0 9 minutes into the first. Just about 7 minutes later, you see that same Jared McCann get into it with Connor Garland of all people. Garland kind of delivers a bit of a chicken wing elbow on McCann in the Seattle Kraken zone while Garland is with the puck, and McCann did not like that. Oh boy, he was yapping on the bench. Garland agreed to fight him, and then after the ensuing face-off in the O-zone, the two dropped the gloves. It was a pretty spirited affair. Neither of these guys fight often, so when they do, you can definitely see the passion behind every swing. Lots of dodges, lots of punch attempts, both helmets eventually came off, and then you saw them go into the boards before Jared McCann got taken down. Pretty spirited affair, which resulted in Vancouver getting the push they needed to tie the game up on the very next face-off. It is Liam Ohgren who assists on Linus Karlsson's 9th goal on the season. It is a face-off loss, technically, for Vancouver, but Ohgren comes in, steals it, centers it out in front, and Karlsson is there to put it past Joey Daccord in front. 1-1 hockey game with about 5 minutes to go in the first period, but that doesn't last for too long because with 20 seconds to go in the first, you have Joey Daccord who sends the puck up to Melanson, who then starts out the 2-on-2 rush. And this rush is a disaster for Vancouver because you've got Melanson and Winterton coming down. You've got Tyler Myers back. Elias Pettersson gets off the bench and joins the play, but he ends up bumping into Myers, which gives Winterton and Melanson essentially a 2-on-0 mini opportunity. Winterton gets the pass on the back door. He beats Kevin Lankinen. It is not a good, smooth play for Vancouver's defense transitioning into it, and that's what gives Seattle the 2-1 lead. Ultimately, the only other goal that is scored in the hockey game comes in the second period, 5 minutes in, where it's Elias Pettersson who gets set up by Evander Kane and Tom Willander. Willander, at his own blue line, is able to toss the puck up left side to Evander Kane, who throws it back into the middle for Petey, who, from distance, corrals the puck before ripping it on goal. That is a classic Elias Pettersson snipe. He has not taken shots like that in a while, it feels. It doesn't feel like that guy's been scoring goals consistently in that vein in years. But hey, Elias Pettersson gets his 9th goal on the season. Finally, he's going out there and trying to take back the Canucks scoring title after Quinn Hughes has held it for way too long, even though that guy hasn't been on the team in almost 2 weeks. Almost over. I'm not too sure. It's been a while, right? But still, it's a 2-2 hockey game at the hands of Elias Pettersson, and unfortunately for us who have these players in fantasy hockey, there are no more goals scored in regulation from that point onwards. The second ends off 2-2. The third ends off 2-2, even though Seattle heavily outshot Vancouver 16-3 in that third period. Man, the Kraken had so many opportunities. They just could not bury it on Kevin Lankinen, who was looking very, very strong in that third period. The guy was just saving everything that moves. And I think a lot of Canucks fans were also feeling like, hey, this is looking like one of those games where Kevin Lankinen could just be the reason Vancouver escapes this one with at least a point, if not even 2, depending on how overtime goes. And that's exactly what happened because Vancouver got the game to OT. They had a last-second opportunity to try to do something, but inevitably it was played down. And in overtime, both teams tried to play for possession. Seattle had 3 shots, Vancouver had none, but the Canucks also did have some offensive zone time that was inevitably fading away when Brock Besser tried to throw the puck to nowhere. And then in the shootout, this is where Kevin Lankinen comes out and brings his best in the NHL history book skill set. He stops Freddie Gaudreau, he baits Tolvanen into missing the net, and then he stops Jordan Eberle, all while Liam Ohgren gets the game winner. Elias Pettersson also almost scored a goal, but it was a really strange play where Joey Daccord knocked the puck off of Pettersson's stick, and the puck started rolling towards the goal afterwards. Pettersson then hit the puck with his own stick one more time, shooting it into the open cage, but it doesn't count as a goal because that technically was a second touch. Had Pettersson not touched it one more time, the puck was already rolling into the net anyway. That probably would have counted. But no harm, no foul, as Liam Ohgren ends up getting the only goal of the shootout. He shoots at 5-hole on Joey Daccord. No fancy moves, no fakes, no nothing. He just walks in, shoots, scores, and that's all she wrote. All in all, an entertaining Vancouver Canucks game, and one where the Canucks are, you could say they're trying. I mean, they're no longer last in the NHL. They just overtook Winnipeg and Chicago, but they did get themselves a few points here to leapfrog some teams. Whether or not that's good or bad, that's your prerogative. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Vancouver going out there with yet another road victory, a shootout win against Seattle? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.